Ready, bro? You got your little funny smile going on. Who are you today? You know, who are you today? I just want to make sure before we get started with the show.
Welcome back to Opinions Are Like.
No, man. Who are you today?
Welcome to Opinions Are Like. I think I'm not supposed to cuss, but welcome to Opinions Are Like. This the good brother, Mr. Courtney Sills, and on my left hand side is
Mr. Moetown Lee.
Is that your cologne that's so strong, or is that just how it's smelling here?
Nah, smelling nice. Well, ladies, player.
I'm saying, is that your cologne that's so strong? It's pretty heavy. Is that you? Smell like some good cologne. I'm just saying you put a lot on.
I ain't put a lot on. It's oil.
Oh, it's an oil.
Man.
Yeah, you put a lot of oil on.
Hey,
That's cool. That's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
So what's up?
Listen, man. Welcome back to Opinions I Like.
I like
Mr. Moetown Lee.
I like Mr.
Left hand man, Mr. Bear Sills, straight off the streets of College Park.
Welcome back to Opinions I Like.
This my opinion. This my opinion. This my opinion. This my opinion. This my opinion.
I just want to make sure it worked. Go ahead.
It's been a minute since you've seen this, and you see why you can only take so much of a person before you just blow your top and you just need a break. And so, last time you may have seen this, it was Moetown Lee and Bear Sills. We had a name change, apparently, or somebody saying they changed their name.
It's not a change of my name. My name is Mr. Courtney D. Sills. That's my name. Yeah, that's just my name. I have nicknames and I have my name. Sometimes, depending on where I'm at and what the circles I'm in, people call me different things.
Yeah, but who is who?
What you mean? It's all me.
It got to be different things, though.
What you mean?
Bear, Courtney, Lope, they all different. They got different personalities.
It's one person who's very versatile. Just me. I'm just versatile. That's it. I'm able to just play the T.I. response.
Because some people don't know Courtney. Some people don't know Bear. Some people just don't know Lope. I'm just saying. But we are, I guess, whatever name, when y'all see him out, whatever name you know him as, or you know him
Sills, by. Mr. Sills. Mr. Sills is always appropriate. Mr. Sills.
No.
You can't
whatever name you know him by, you call him that, I'll call him asshole.
Just don't call me Lope. Just don't call me Lope.
Who? There's people who don't even, they think that's your name.
Because they're dumb.
No, it's just why the intelligent people that call you
think
Lope.
that my name is Loke.
I'm saying, people think your name Bear. They know that ain't your real name, but they know that's what they know you by. They've been calling you Loke forever.
Don't call me Loke no more.
So he had a name change since the last time you saw us. This last time you saw us, we got a new president. You know what I'm saying? What's that for?
I'm just clapping my hands. We got a new president. We're into a whole new year, whole new era, some new challenges. I'm happy for it. Like, there has to be some good that comes out of this.
What? What do you think? It'll be some good coming out of it.
I mean, we got to find it. But ultimately,
but
there has to be.
You clap like you was excited about this shit.
Yeah, because it's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new challenge. It's a new opportunity to do some real soul searching and figure out who we are as individuals and who we are as a people. And if we're going to unite and come together, which I doubt, and get on the same page, which I doubt, to agree to something. Hopefully that's what happens.
You saying unite as black people unite or as a whole?
I think as black people first and then as a whole. At least get on similar pages, or at least in the same book.
Yeah. You said you doubt, so you think that can happen? You don't think that I don't personally think, I mean, I would want it to happen, but I just don't see it happening. Because people, you know what I'm saying, like people have.
So you have doubt too.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you about having doubt as far as us unifying it, but I think the problem is I don't think the infrastructure of like our community, of the black community, we have not been able to come together, like put some differences aside for the greater good.
I don't think there is an infrastructure.
But like other people, they would be like, okay, well, you know, I don't necessarily agree with this person, but we're gonna move like this as a unit. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, this dates back to slavery and Harriet Tubman days when she was trying to free the slaves, and she's like, I could have freed, you know, thousands more if they knew they were slaves, because in their mind, you know, people had a different, like, not when you look at certain people like Nat Turner and them, like, look, we're trying to push slavery routes, and you have slaves over here to be like, oh, we good over here. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, we slaves, we gonna be better over here. People didn't believe it, so nobody was unified. I think that, you know, with this election and with Donald Trump, I think, you know, whether you like him or not, whatever, there is a revelation to, like, for us, we got to be for us, by us, like, you know, like Damon John and them, like FUBU. We got to create economics for ourselves. I mean, honestly, Minister Farrakhan told us, like, politics without economics is a symbol without substance. So unless we create, you know, something, businesses in a political, like economic-based political platform, it's going to be extremely tough. But with that, you're going to have to move it one. People can't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take the check and then do this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we'll see. And people been, you know, since this election, people been upset. They've been upset with some people we know.
Have they really been upset?
They've been upset. I think people.
And what I mean by that is, are people just doing what they do and talking? Because when you're upset and pain or shit like that, people usually do something. So are people just upset, just mouthing off, or just sharing their opinion, their worthless opinion?
I think, you know, it's not a worthless opinion.
Okay.
Because, I mean, but what do you want to do? Like, you can stop, like, for instance, you know, Snoop and Nelly. You can stop supporting those artists now. Like, you can stop streaming the music. You can stop listening to them. You can do certain things. It's happened. You know what I mean? Like, look at certain rappers or certain artists or who did some things that people don't like. They stop supporting those people. You know what I mean? So that's an action. So, and it affects them in the long run. Your artists, like if you're an artist in your business to entertain and do shows and certain things, and people not buying your brand and not buying the things that you
So
selling.
you're saying that that's their job to perform? Are you saying that that's their job to perform?
No, I'm saying there's part of their job, yeah.
Okay.
To entertain.
Mm-hmm. And get paid to entertain.
Yeah, but at the same time, but you also, at the end of the day, like, because I feel like I know where you're going, it's not all money ain't good money. Like Snoop and Nelly and them, it's all money ain't good money. And, you know, sometimes the bad optics. Like if your fans, you know, if you have, for Snoop, and you know, I guess we'll just go ahead and discuss it. I got a problem with Snoop and his performance, and because Snoop has always been critical about other people selling out and other people doing. He was extremely critical of Kanye about the shit. You know what I'm saying? And so then you go and do the same thing, and then people are like, okay, well,
Ho. When you say when you go and do the same thing,
when you go and perform,
because I'm not that well versed. I don't really remember what Kanye did for him to say that.
Kanye was
About
MAGA,
Kanye.
and he was pandering for Trump.
Okay. So you just said Snoop did the same thing.
Snoop went and performed during the week of the inauguration, actually the day before inauguration. There's been reports that it was about crypto, but there's still bad optics. You know what it was?
No, I'm just addressing. You said Snoop went and did the
He
same
said
thing. So I was just trying to see because a lot of times we use words that aren't accurate or we don't mean. So he didn't do the same thing as promoting MAGA, promoting Trump, going to see Trump and all that type of stuff.
Bad optics.
Okay, so are you saying you're removing he did the same thing as
I'm
Ye?
saying he was critical. He was extremely critical about
Ye
and
promoting.
others who he was critical about Chrisette Michelle and others, and he was very vocal about people selling out and y'all performing and y'all taking these checks for these y'all sellouts, this, and this.
So I'm only asking if it's the same thing based on he didn't perform, from my understanding, he didn't perform at the inauguration. He performed at an inauguration event put on by crypto. Is that accurate?
Put on by a cryptocurrency, but that strongly supports Trump. During the day before Trump's inauguration. That's just like if...
And so Chrisette performed at the inauguration.
No. She performed the day before at an event the day before.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Just the same. She never performed at the inauguration.
Okay.
She performed at an event.
And she got canceled?
Ostracized. Yeah. You haven't seen, you know. Mm-hmm. And it's not the same energy when it comes to Snoop and Nelly.
Well, Snoop's a lot bigger than...
But still.
I'm just saying in terms of trying to ostracize
and that's even worse because if you a lot bigger, then there's no excuse for you to do certain things. You don't need the money.
Oh, so you're saying Chrisette did it for the money?
I'm saying if she's a lot bigger, she may have, the label or whatever, man, been like, oh, do this gonna help your career XYZ. You know what I mean? Like, at this point in time, Snoop don't need it. He just did the Olympics. It's just bad optics for him.
And bad optics means?
It looks bad. It looks like you in support. And then you may think like, oh, it wasn't a Trump event. But then all the people...
So everybody that I'm sorry to interrupt you. Everybody who may have secretly, because it's a secret, voted for Trump should be... In your opinion.
No. But here's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, performing at a pre-inauguration event or voting for Trump, because a lot of people voted for Trump.
And that's their own personal thing.
So that's not Snoop's own personal thing?
But here's the thing. If it can be your personal thing, if you're saying, if you come out flat, I'm like, I support Trump.
But why do you have to come out?
Because nobody asked you to come out and be vocal against people who supported Trump the last time Trump ran.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
But was he
jumped out there
vocal
and
about
did it.
them people promoting him, or he was just vocal? Period.
He was vocal. Period.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I just, for me personally, I just can't get down with it. You know, that's me personal. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I just personally wouldn't. Do certain things, even if it's for the bag, as people say, get the money. At some point in time, you got to stand for something. Like, you can't be like, oh, man, because that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, that's the optics and the way they look at things. They cut you a check, it's going to be all right. I got a problem when there's situations when there's police brutality and, it goes away once they cut the check. Like, I respect Benjamin Crump and them, but sometimes, hey, man, like, we still got to push the line. You can't just be like, all right, look, here go $5 million for this folks' family. The situation goes away. No, because there's still other situations, but we got a price. So they feel like, let's just throw money at the shit or a person, and it's cool.
So it's a lot of people who sell out.
A lot. He ain't the only one.
No, I know it now. I'm just asking.
Yeah. A lot of people have a price.
Most people have a price.
And that's why motherfuckers will continue to be slaves.
That's why I said I doubt we'll unify or come together. But it will take some very drastic things to happen, I believe, in order for black people or people of African descent or so-called African Americans of today will unify one front and all agree to do anything. It'll take a whole lot. Maybe a few more high Hitlers, maybe, you know, I don't know.
You see that high Hitler shit, they just brush that shit up under the rug.
Hey, man.
Don't get it twisted. My hope and dream is that we can unify, but do I ever think that I would see it? No. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's way too, think about this, right? Dr. King only had 54% like support of like African Americans. 54% overall approval rating of what he was doing, right? Mm-hmm. So that is 46% of African Americans who didn't agree with what Dr. King was doing. Mm-hmm. Now,
is that 48 in your perspective? Is that 46% of people wrong for not supporting Dr. King?
I think that 46%, if you're vocal about like the approach, right? You can be like, all right, I don't like what he's saying, or that he's a Christian, or he's this, he's that. I don't like that. But, you know what I mean? If I'm going to sit down and see, all right, so he pushing for civil rights. I agree with that. I agree we should have civil rights, right? I agree we should have X, Y, Z. Why can't you put why can't we put the personal things aside to be like, okay, this is for the
personal beliefs.
Well, it's not even beliefs because
because some people believed in human rights and not civil rights, correct?
Well, he pushed for human rights. He pushed for.
I thought he was pushing the civil rights.
Well, they called it. It was a civil rights era. He pushed for human rights.
So what was Malcolm and the Nation of Islam pushing?
They were pushing. They were basically like pushing for black, like separate but equal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They was like, look, we want the X, Y, Z, but we want to be equal. And then when Malcolm X traveled over to Mecca and overseas, he realized that he's like, we pushing the black agenda, but I'm seeing certain things that, you know, we need to be pushing rights for everybody.
Human rights.
Which then the nation, essentially, the nation disagreed, or Honorable Elijah Muhammad disagreed with that. But, you know, when you look at that, so when it says during the civil rights we couldn't get together, during slavery we couldn't get together, what makes us think like what's going to happen that make us, you know, get together? Like it's tough, and that is what happens with, you know, with slavery and certain things. They implement and they put things into us like that. We don't see each other, you know what I mean, the same. We don't think we made it until, you know, we get the love from these people over here. We don't think we have to, in my opinion, black
When you
people.
say get the love, you mean like validated from a different race?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, they just look past it. We're never going to, you know, agree, but we're never going to be all the way on the same page 100%, but we have to find we're like, as a people, we had to find some sort of common goal. Like we agree this, and this, and let's roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the last election when Cube had the black agenda, you know, most people never didn't even read it, right? But it was like, I just disagree because who told him? You know what I mean? I'm like, did you even like take the time to read what was in this? You know what I mean? You didn't. Most people didn't. They just automatically jumped and disagreed with it. So because of that, if somebody on the outside looking at that shit, they're like, what? Just like reparations. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us believe that we should get reparations for what we put into America. you have a lot of black people who don't believe that black people should get reparations, which is asinine. I'm saying, like, damn. Okay. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to persuade anyone's belief, especially if that's what they've been raised on. If they come from a household where that's what they were taught as early, or they heard their parents saying "fuck reparations," or they've heard their parents stand on the type of business they stand. It's very hard to challenge someone's belief. You got to really be open to have your beliefs challenged.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Dr. King, you seen the images and all the shit going around with, club flyers, and there was an image of him and Sexy Red in the club.
I saw that yesterday.
And
the daughter, Dr. King's daughter, was very upset about it, or expressed her disapproval.
Right. And you see, in retaliation. Now, one thing I say, Sexy Red didn't create that image. She probably thought it was humorous, and she posted it. And then once Bernice King addressed it, she came back respectfully and was like, you know what, you're right. I thought it was funny. I didn't. So I respect, this isn't, so the disrespect, I don't feel like it came from her. You know what I'm saying? Like Sexy Red. But people after that, they was just like, why y'all tripping? Like, shit. That I seen a lot of disrespect for like Dr. King after that, because people mad because she was like, hey, I just don't respect, can you take this down? It's not cool when people, I think Carlos Miller ended up creating an image of him and Dr. King, which was crazy because, did you see that image? He posted the image of him and King got a show, which happened to be at the fest at OMF.
Is that right?
Yes. I'm like,
Dr. King showed up?
Bullshit. And they told his ass a new one. They went in on him.
But why do you think that's happening, where people think it's okay to use them images? And I'm asking a question, and I have an answer.
I think it's about clicks and jokes and the respect. Sometimes the disrespect, or they don't view Dr. King as such. But they wouldn't do it if somebody took a picture like, your grandmother or something that passed away, or like you don't see people don't be posting pictures of like what they perceive as Jesus in that manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you doing it, you mean it's a sign of disrespect. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Bernice King took the shit that's disrespect. And a lot of black people, because of the respect and they love for Dr. King, they take it as disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, what do you think?
I think the reason why that this generation of people are not, because this generation of people are the least amount attached to the history of civil rights and brutality in America, because it's decades before they were born. And the fact that, and I've heard people say, I'm tired of watching or us producing slave movies or civil rights movies. Can we get past that? When certain other races will never let you forget what's happened to their people. Exactly. And I think that if we're not pressing, keeping the plight of descendants of Africans in America, if we're not keeping that in the forefront of our minds and making people understand, educating and making young people understand, this was just a few days ago. This was not a long time ago. Right. Like, it's really real, and maybe they'll respect it. But we are very lacking on detailed information, especially stuff that hurts us, shit that makes us feel pain. We tend to want to stay in our comfort zones. I watched a show last night, American
Prime Evil,
Primeval, And because I've heard of, those particular people and those particular beliefs in that particular college that's named after
And they
a former governor.
They upset about that show.
Yeah, but once you Google it and you really read about from what you have access to
Brigham
read
Young.
about, when you read about it and you see the brutality, it makes shit really real. I don't think people are seeing the reality of what people who are still alive today went through and what Dr. King's purpose and charge was on his heart, what Haj Malik Shabazz, formerly known as Malcolm X, what his charge was, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the 5% Nation. I think we have no idea. No, most of us have no idea even why gangs in L.A. or gangs in Chicago even started. So we've lost sight of that. It means nothing to us. There is no structure. And the laws have made sure that the infrastructure of certain things have been decimated. The Black Panther Party, the infrastructure was decimated. So there's no one to keep any type of structure. So yeah, we have a serious problem of needing to re-educate and educate people on why it's important for us to lead the charge of unifying, to get on the same page. And we're so emotional people. Big shout out to the king of California, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, who has single-handedly damn near unified L.A. based on his music. Maybe not his intent, but L.A. got a fire up underneath their ass now like no other.
I think something you said about, the youth and history. Well, we have to understand, like, if we don't, in education, if you don't teach history, right, it's bound to either repeat itself.
For sure.
And when you think, with American, the movie, the show American Prime Video, if you think about Westerns, like cowboys and Indians, right? Because the Indians, like, aren't really around or the masses to be able to tell their story.
That we can see, but they are definitely around. But yeah,
Look at the narrative that has been sold to us for so many years. When we watch Westerns, who do you think
we wanted to be the cowboys.
Exactly, because the cowboys was the heroes, the Indians was the savages. They were this, they were that. They was fighting for their fucking survival.
Their land.
This was their land.
Yeah. I've never had that. I never had the opportunity I never had any conflict with choosing the Indians because my grandfather and the Seals family from Connecticut and upstate New York and all were indigenous heritage and ancestry. So I had always been impressed upon since as long as I can remember about my family bloodline being Indian or having Indian descent. So I was always empathetic or sympathetic to any Indians because I felt, based on how I was taught, I felt a connection to that. So I never chose the Cowboys.
And I think that, we
should. And maybe that's the issue now that these people, younger people, don't feel the connection to Dr. King or the Civil Rights Movement or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan and Malcolm X and the Black Panther. They don't see the connection, so they don't have no way of being sympathetic or feeling that purpose in what their sacrifice is.
Mm-hmm. And you got to think about, even if you disagree with Martin and Malcolm, Fred Hampton, the Panthers, if you think about the things that the Panthers did and how it affects, we have free health care and certain things in our communities in these clinics because the Black Panthers push for that, right? Even if you don't agree with that, they stood on something and they stood so strongly on it that people thought we have to eliminate them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to, these people are so dangerous, not because they gonna be out killing, because they out educating, they out motivating people. We have to get rid of this person.
And all of them are gone, meaning the Malcolms, the Martins, the Panther leadership, I won't even name the other organizations from other places that have been, as I use the word, decimated. Now, here's the thing, Mo, and this used to always be on my mind early as I started to study in my teens, the late teens. At the age that some of these gentlemen who have been murdered or assassinated decided to take the charge and take on the purpose of leading or being revolutionaries, did they know that they could end up being murdered because of this? I think so. I think yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's black people that exist that are willing to put their life on the line for the better, bigger cause of the betterment of our people. Even though we both know people who will absolutely die about their respect and die for their hood.
Yeah.
But how big is their hood? Is their hood America? Or is their hood just them 3, 4, 5 blocks that they represent? You know what I mean? Like, who is willing to say, I'll live and die for my people?
That's correct. That's crazy because, you know, when we look at somebody like, when you look at Tupac, I feel like, you know, him being the descendant of the Black Panther Party, and whether you know, like the path Tupac took.
I just wish his journey wasn't cut short, so he would have had the opportunity to, as he got all these people behind him and supporting him, he could have came back and took that energy and implemented or planted the seeds of what he actually knew and came from in order to give direction. I think that his story got shut. His life got cut short before he could come back around and say, now that I got 5 million people or 20,000 people in this arena, I can really push the agenda of unifying.
They had to.
Same
26
shit.
years old. With that being said, again, man, I don't know who or what, or if there will be another leader. But for the people out there that's leading the charges on whatever they're doing to help, you know, help us as people, help our community, so be it, whether it be small or big, you know, I just want to shout out to them, you know,
for sure.
and continue to push, whether it be 5, 10, 10,000 or 100,000 people, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, you know what I mean? This has been Opinions Are Light, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and let me say this. I agree with you. Whoever that person or people are who have the ability to, or have that calling on their life to, for lack of a better word, purpose their life for the betterment of others and not themselves, man, I pray for you to be strong enough to refuse the check that would silence you or keep you from taking a certain position. I just pray that, you know, we get that type of leadership at some point that people can believe in. And this was a good episode. I appreciate having this conversation.
And I ain't going to tell y'all, he really didn't want to have a conversation, but we did, and we got through it. And this has been Opinions Are Light. Moetown Lee.
That's Mr. Asshole, and I'm Mr. Courtney Sill.